It's time for another power-packed episode of Headspace with Dr. Mike. Each week, Dr. Mike is committed to addressing real life, sometimes polarizing and controversial issues, while offering practical and informed insight. Listen in as we discuss hot topics that matter to us and the communities we live in.
Good morning, Headspacers. That was a little rough right there. What was that I just did? I gotta get rid of that. How are y'all? Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We are back in the saddle. We are here with our group. How about this? We got Christy. Good morning, Christy.
Good morning, Mike.
And we have Mitchell. Good morning, Mitchell.
Good morning.
Thank you all for just being willing to hang out with me a little bit today, and being willing to just let's chop it up for season 3, episode 1. Thank you all for those of you who are tuning in via our live broadcast. We try to broadcast most Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and then we also want to thank our community. What's up, Kevin? Out of Denver. Good to see you, brother. And also those of you who tune in via our podcast, thank you. We have listeners all over the place, and so definitely want to thank you all for tuning in. We got to give some shout out to Elevation Global Media. That's the mothership. Thank you so much for all of your support and encouragement through the years and just helping this dream become a reality. Y'all, it's so good to see y'all.
It's good to be seen.
It's good to be seen.
Oh, so look, I'm just gonna ask, how was the holiday? Was the holiday good? Y'all had to do anything special during the holiday?
My holiday was good. It was quiet and small. We stayed at home. Just had my mom and sister over. I had some good food. Watched some shows. Got caught up on binge watched some things and just relaxed. It was a very relaxing holiday.
Nice. How about you, Mitchell?
My holiday was pretty relaxing. I think it was pretty small for me too. So as far as New Year's, I spent that in church. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, but other than that, my Christmas pretty small, the traditional stuff. We watched Christmas movies and open gifts. My family wore, all of us wore onesies. So.
Oh, nice. Very good. We did the pajama thing too. Did you guys do the pajama thing, Christy?
We did not do the pajama thing this year, but we did our Christmas slippers. So there was a Papa Bear, Mama Bear,
I think I
Baby
saw
Bear,
those on Facebook.
and I even got some socks for Jax. I couldn't get a doggy bear slipper, but I got some socks that matched the rest of the family for Jax.
Did he keep them on for most of it, or he ended up taking them off?
I put it on for the picture and took them off. I didn't want any drama.
I know, that's right. Well, I spent most of the holiday sick, so there's that. You always have one of those. I was chosen for that one, so coughing, hacking, snotting, it was a mess. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was the little baby germs came in the house. Well, not baby, but the kids germs, and it's always amazing when you have a kid because they are down and out when they get sick, and then after they're over it, you're the one that's left with them.
Thank you.
But anyway, nonetheless, hey, Mama is on. Well, we could really get started now because Mama is on here. So, but anyway, Happy New Year to everyone. Happy 2023. I'm looking forward to a great new year. Starting things out this time, well, maybe not so much this time, less than a week ago, we were watching Monday Night Football, and there was some devastation. And I don't know that we thought that things were going to get better. Christy, were you watching the Monday Night Football game?
I actually was not. So I was, like I said, I was binging. So I actually was watching Yellowstone,
Mm.
and I just happened to look at my phone, and I saw one of my friends post something about, oh my gosh, they're giving him CPR on the field. And I was like, what is going on? So I turned Yellowstone off and I turned on the game, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I did not see it actually happen, but of course they replayed the moment over and over and over again. But what a scary, oh, that was so scary. And
Yeah.
I just, once I got past the shock of it, I just went into prayer.
Yeah. Yeah. I was working on a project in my office, and I had it on, but I wasn't really paying attention. And then my mom calls me and was like, "Did you da da da?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And so, sure enough, as she was talking about it, I saw it, and I saw the ambulance on the field and the players huddled and praying. And well, we just praise God because Damar Hamlin, from what we're hearing, they have the tube out. He is talking. He is coherent. He was coherent enough to ask if he won the game. So we are just praising God. I mean, we watched a miracle unfold. We've been watching a miracle unfold before our eyes. So praise God, Damar Hamlin. I didn't know how the rest of this football season was going to go, to be honest with you. And to be even completely honest, I mean, I didn't really care for that first few days. I just didn't care. Like I was like, whatever. Um, and um, and so with that, I just am praising God that it's turning out to be better. I hope we do he figures out what exactly is going wrong. I just find it amazing that everybody has graduated from um, medical school. It's always amazing me that everybody understands. They all experts on. They understand medicine. They understand physics. I mean, I tell you what, this pandemic, people got a whole lot of credentials.
Oh my goodness. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Um, what about you, Mitchell? Did you had you heard anything about everything that was going on?
So I did, and it definitely confused me for a second. Well, let me not say it confused me. It scared me because I didn't watch it live, but
Mhm.
like Christy was saying, everybody was replaying it over and over and over again.
Mhm.
So I was able to see the video of the play, and then uh them applying CPR and all that kind of stuff. And I literally just started praying and then left it alone because it was going to shake me for the rest of the night. I wasn't even concerned about the game. I kind of turned everything off and just started praying because that was my response to the situation.
Mhm.
But I do know what I did hear was that there was some controversial tweets let out about it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, Skip Bayless, who is known for controversy.
Lord
And I
Jesus.
kind of do have a little bit of beef about some things that he said through the years, and particularly he and Shannon Sharp had some words not too long before this. He had made a tweet, and to be honest with you, and I think one of the reasons why I created Headspace was I think that sometimes we get so caught up in our own opinions about things that we don't take time to look at the whole picture. I'm
Yeah,
eager to hear what Christy has to say about this. I didn't necessarily see what Skip had said in his tweet as bad. Like I get why people got upset about it, but I really felt that he was actually saying, wow, at this point, none of that matters. Like, the NFL is decided to postpone. They have to make a decision about this. I mean, how do they? Like, I felt like he was just expressing. He was expressing the whole big picture. Like, it's a lot more than just canceling the game. And I didn't get what he said. I didn't take offense from it. So I'm eager to hear Christy because you're a communications professional as well. So.
I actually, like, I have to go back and read it again, because I think in the moment, and this is what
Mhm.
I don't know what you discussed because I had some technical issues, but and the I think this is what is very challenging about Twitter and social media in general because you can't detect tone and what people are sarcasm or whatever may be going on when people are typing their thoughts on something. And so I think in the moment, depending on your lens, how you were feeling about the situation, how you feel about Skip. I mean, he is a polarizing, commentator, right? So if you got a lens, if you're looking through your I don't like Skip, lens, and you're vulnerable in that moment and emotional, I can see how people could take it the wrong way. I think in these moments it's important to hear from the person who tweeted it and understand what they say their intention was and take it at face value. Now, Skip has a reputation. So
Absolutely.
we don't know, he says his intention wasn't, to be rude, or he was really talking about, the game and how it shouldn't move forward. But because of his reputation, sometimes, some people aren't going to believe him. And so
That's right.
unfortunately, that's what happens. But I think Skip, it shouldn't be the topic of conversation. The miracle that we are seeing on display and what happened with this young man, and the live prayers that were happening on national
On air.
TV, on air.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just think the young man's being used by God, whether he knows it or not.
Yep. I
And
wholeheartedly agree with all that.
I would have to agree.
All that. That's that right there is in itself. I think about that one gospel song. It's going to be a showcase of His glory or something like that. There will be a performance of His glory. I don't know. There's a gospel song. There will be a performance of His glory, of His greatness, or whatever. Anyway, there's a gospel song that talks about that, a performance of His greatness, talking about the Lord. And I think that right there is yet again another example of how we get to see God at work. And it could have gone another way. It really could have gone another way.
It actually should have.
It really should have.
Listen. Anyway, all that to say, we praise God at Damar Hamlin. Looking forward to hearing more about his recovery and what happens as a result of this. And so, with that being said, let's go ahead and take our first break.
'20 gave birth to a lot of endeavors. Here in 2021, everyone has had to get in touch with their inner producer. Our man Garrett Brace is one of those guys you need on your team. We at Headspace with Dr. Mike are clients of his, as he ensures all of our audio files are crisp, clean, and cool. If you have any audio, video, and even lighting needs, hit him up at G Waltz Services on Instagram. Remember, G Waltz Services, servicing all your audio, video, and lighting needs.
So I most recently was traveling back from Texas, and this was a little before Christmas. And there was a lot going on weather-wise. I mean, we know about what was happening with flights being canceled and stuff like this. So this was a little before that. And one of the things that was happening was there was a lot of just weather that was getting in the way. And one of the things was just, it was very cloudy. And it was unusually cloudy to the point where one of my flights was actually delayed because of the fog. It was so thick that they actually had a ground stop at the airport. And, when we finally got on the plane, one of the things that happened, the pilot kind of got on and told us, look, there's going to be a point where we're going to ask the flight attendants to be seated because we're going to be going through some tricky turbulence. And then, but once we get above the clouds and get above all that, things will be where we need to be, and you can get your drinks and your snacks and all that stuff. And so what was very fascinating, always fascinates me about air travel is, when you go and take off, you go and get through the clouds. Of course, it's bumpy, but then when you get up on top of the clouds, it's like a whole nother world. It's like a sunny day. If it's during the daytime, if it's at nighttime, you get above the clouds enough, you get to see the moon, the stars. And it always just fascinates me that you got to get through that one piece, that stuff is always there, but you got to get to it. and so one of the things I thought about was, as every year, there's this trend where you try to come up with a word that kind of speaks to what your mantra is going to be for the course of the year. And so I have been planning with that. And I believe that this year, my mantra is going to be clarity. It's going to be in everything that I seek, and seek out or seek to, or anything that I am going towards. I always want to make sure there's clarity. And it's the right type of clarity. And so one of the things I want to say is, in this world, when you look at, first of all, the definition of clarity is the quality of being coherent and intelligible. And it's also the quality of transparency or purity. And a lot of times we want to see things extremely clearly, but there is an obstacle that gets in the way. You've been in your prayer time and you hear God saying, this is what I want you to do, but yet you're looking at the reality of your bank account. You're looking at the reality of your relationships. You're looking at the reality of your job situation. You're looking at the type of circumstances that you're in. You're looking at the environment that you're in. And you're like, you know what? God, I hear that this is what it is, but it's hard for me to see that because I have the clouds. And I believe this is going to bless somebody right now, because what today's Heads Up is titled is Clarity in the Clouds. And it's the idea that in the midst of all that stuff that's getting in the way, understand that, first of all, if you know what it is that you've been called to do, then guess what? There is a path to get there. What's fascinating about this is that a pilot, whenever they're flying, they can't always rely on what they see through the windows. They have to rely on the instruments, the tools that they have, that they've been trained, specializing in getting. Like, I couldn't just wake up one day and just say, I want to be able to fly a 737 across the country. There's specialized training. There's hours that I have to go into. There's experience that I have to get. But there are tools that will allow the pilots to get through, but they have to know something. And you may be saying, well, Dr. Mike, what are you saying here? What I'm saying here is that understand that I cannot rely on everything that I see. The Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him. He's the instrument. He is the tool. He is the thing that allows us to navigate through the circumstances. And there are things that he sees. Look, as a pilot's flying and they see, they're 200 miles ahead of them. They don't know what's exactly 200 miles ahead of them unless they get a report. There's someone who sees, who understands everything that is happening, the pathway that the plane has to go. But in the end of the day, they got to be able to utilize those instruments. And my challenge to you all is, as you're trying to seek clarity in the cloud, you have to make sure you're relying on the instruments. You can't trust in what your emotions say. You can't trust in what you think you see. You can't, because those things are going to hurt us. I know one thing that we talk about, the fact that the heart is deceitfully wicked. One of the things that, people have a hard time with understanding is that because of what's called the depravity of man, because of just the role that sin plays in our world, that man naturally has affections that are not pure, that are not right. That's our natural affinity, right? That's why you don't have to treat. Look, Christy has a toddler. I have a preteen. And guess what? Neither of us had to teach our kids how to do bad. They can do bad all by themselves because we naturally do. And so our natural inclination is not necessarily always the areas of purity. It's not always the areas of clarity. And so what we have to do is we have to rely on the instruments. That's why it's important that we read our Bible every day. It's important that we spend time in prayer. We were talking about Damar Hamlin, and we're talking about the power of prayer, and how Mitchell, I remember him saying in his talking about that, he said, I had to turn off the football game because a lot of times we got to get rid of distractions so that we can get clarity in the cloud. See, some of the things that you're going through right now, you're going through it because it's just simply a distraction. Thank you, Lord, because there's some things that I'm going through on a personal and a professional level right now. And I have to recognize that is just nothing but a distraction to keep me from where I need to go to. And so instead of me trying to look and see what I see out the window, I got to look at the instruments, the things that I've spent time learning and understanding. And you may be saying, well, I haven't gone to seminary like you have. I haven't necessarily gone to a Christian college like you have. Well, that's okay. You had some experiences, right? The very fact that you're here today. Christy was talking about something about Damar Hamlin, said it should have been another way. It actually should have. the circumstances were all in line for Damar Hamlin not to be around anymore. But God, you all have had experiences. I don't know about you, but I had so many experiences where I shouldn't be where I'm at. I shouldn't be able to wake up with my right frame of mind. I shouldn't be having a house to live in. I shouldn't have a job that I have, but God. So all of us have had experience. That's a part of the instrument, the knowledge that we have and knowing that, guess what, there can be clarity in the clouds. So my challenge to you all as you're stepping into 2023 is to really not necessarily rely solely on what it is that you see through the windows, but rely on the instruments that you have access to get you there. And that's my heads up.
Follow the Headspace with Dr. Mike show on all social media platforms at Headspace DM. We want to keep you up to date on all of our hot topics and keep the dialogue going even after the show. We also value what's important to you and your community. DM your show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook. The next time you log on, you may hear Dr. Mike discussing the very topic or issue close to your heart.
What is y'all's word for 2023? Do y'all even have a word for 2023?
I don't have a word yet. I am still marinating, meditating on that. My year got a little delayed. Not year, but just some things I wanted to start as the new year came in got a little delayed outside of my, I had nothing to do with that. But so I've got to marinate a little while longer. Maybe I'll have something for you next week, Dr. Mike.
Okay, all right. How about you, Mitchell? You got a word that you're focusing on?
So oddly enough, you must have been in my prayer time because my word for this year is focus.
Okay. Focus.
So there are a lot of things that I know that I need to do. There are a lot of things coming up, performances and all that kind of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff just lined up for me. And so I want to have that focus. I want to have that time. I want to have not only that time with God to discuss what I'm going to do for the future, because he holds all time in his hands, but I also want to have laser focus on whatever it is.
I know that's right, because I can't wait for da, 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 da. Da, 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 da,
Mike is gonna find a way to sing or hum in a show.
So, audience, tell us what your word is for the year. Tell us what your word is for the year. I would love to hear what your word is for the year and how we can partner. Mason's trying to tell us what his word is for the year. Potty train. Is he potty trained? Is Mason potty trained?
Not yet. We're starting it this month.
That's his
y'all,
word. That's
y'all
his
pray
word.
for me.
Matter
of fact, I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
You good. So anyway, nonetheless, we have petty politics.
Oh God.
Mitchell. Well, first of all, I am happy to some degree that government can continue. As of 1:30 in the morning or something like that, we do have a Speaker of the House. And so for those people who didn't pay attention in high school civics, in order for government to function, there has to be a leader of both the House of Representatives as well as the Senate. And it was looking like we weren't going to get there because Kevin McCarthy was not letting it go. And look, 15, I think it actually would have been 14, but somebody didn't get the memo that they were supposed to do something else. And so they thought they were grown. And I was up because I'm a nerd when it comes to these things. And so there was drama, y'all. Like they were about to be fists. Like they were about to actually go to blows.
It got uncivilized.
Yes.
It got real quick.
Did anyone? I know it wasn't lost on anyone that was the anniversary of January 6th.
That's the bigger piece of it. It was the anniversary of January 6th, and all the players were the ones who kind of instigated it. And y'all, that's not even politics. It's facts. It's like actually, it's been revealed through the hearings and even through some court cases that are coming through that these are the characters, the people that were denying the irony of it all. The irony of it all. It was a mess. And so, I mean, and one of the guys that was about to fight the guy is like the chair of one of the committees. I mean,
it's unbelievable. Like, this stuff is made for the movies, for the books. Like, this is truly life imitating art. It will be. Art is coming from this. It's crazy.
So here's my thing, though. So I wonder what it's going to look like in future history classes when people have to explain all of this stuff, when people have to learn about all of this stuff, when the next generation, and that's weird even for me to say, but when they have to learn all of this stuff, because it's going to seem like America was out here making a movie. Like,
Sharella said, other countries are looking at us like we can't do anything right. I don't know. I mean, it was quite embarrassing. I mean, I wasn't surprised though. Like, I wasn't. These are the people that were holding out were the same ones that actually let the if you remember a few years ago, they actually let the government shut down. Y'all remember?
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, because I remember having friends that worked for the federal government that they actually had to get their bill collectors. They actually had to get special arrangements for their bills to be stopped for a minute because really was a shutdown. Like, it really was a shutdown.
It's
looking for the average person, and I guess I want to meet the people who really cared about all that was holding them up. Like, I want to meet the people that they claimed that they were representing.
Please let them stand up. Bring them to DC because it's crazy. But okay, so let's talk about Hakeem Jeffries though.
That's my dude. Well, first of all, he's New York.
So it was a 15-minute speech. I did not watch the whole thing. First of all, I was knocked out. So when all this was going on, I was asleep. So when I woke up this morning, I was like, oh, the government is we're moving forward. And I saw a couple of clips of his speech and the shade that was upon that speech. I don't even know how we're seeing the sun right now. It was so shady.
Well, let's talk about the fact that he must be he clearly has hung around Baptist preachers, because he had this run that he took the alphabet and made his points using the alphabet. I was like, if that ain't something that I've used in a sermon, but he did a compare and contrast with the alphabet. Like, that in itself was pretty impressive.
Indeed. It was impressive. It was very, it sounded, it was a preacher. It was very preachery, very politician-y. We have to be honest. It was very polarizing.
Absolutely.
He was speaking facts. It's just a trying time to be someone of sound mind in this United States of the Americas. It's just it's crazy.
Yeah. I we got to pray for our country, pray for our leadership. Just some of the initiatives that are going to be getting shut down. Well, the thing about it is, though, the Republicans have the House, but the Democrats still have the Senate, and we have a Democratic president. So I almost feel like that means nothing's going to be accomplished these next 2 years,
exactly,
unless it's bipartisan. Because, I mean, the House can throw stuff to the Senate, but if the Senate doesn't approve it, then there's that. And definitely, if the Senate even approves it, and then it goes to the president, and the president doesn't sign off on it, I don't think they have the 2/3 majority to override the veto. So, ugh.
Nothingness. A bunch of nothingness.
Yeah, nothing. Well, it's all about perspective, I guess, and I guess that there's a faction of folk who are really caring about those things. I did find it fascinating, and I'm going to try to let it go. I did find it fascinating that in the 20 million speeches of nomination, because they had to nominate the man every time, they really harped on the fentanyl situation. And I guess for me, growing up in Baltimore, having spent time down at Lexington Market, I'm just like, this is not new. Like, this has been going on for centuries, actually. Like, matter of fact, I feel like the opioid wars and all that stuff. I mean, I feel like that was going on. And is that really there? Apparently, they've tied that issue to the borders being open. But like, can't you create the stuff here? Like, don't we have the ingredients to make it all here? Like, what?
Oh, trust me, we probably do.
I guess I just find it fascinating that that's what we're harping on, and I'm just like, I get it. Yeah, we shouldn't be allowing just anybody. I will tell you this though, I've been traveling a lot, and my bedroom has not been getting cleaned regularly, because people that usually are cleaning the bedrooms in the hotels, I guess they're not allowed to be here anymore. And I'm just being real. I'm being real. Like, there are jobs that average Americans don't want, right? And I guess this is me, and call it polarizing, call it what it is. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, there was a group of individuals who were doing some of those jobs that nobody really wants to do. You know what I'm saying? And so, I don't know.
It's rough out here.
It's rough out here. Anyway, all right. Well, let's go ahead and transition. We're just going to be praying for our nation. Christy, you had mentioned something about student loans. So have we got any updates on what's happening with that? Like, has the Supreme Court made a ruling or anything yet?
It's not looking good. I'll just say that. The White House is still fighting for them to, overrule their delay. But I don't know, I think that it likely will not pass, and Biden will have to kick that can down the street until he's out of office, and it'll depend on, after these 2 years, who's in power, what will happen with that. Because at this point,
I don't think it ever, and you want to hear the honest truth from my perspective? I don't think it was ever supposed to happen, because the House and the Senate had Democratic majority. They could, once they saw that there was a roadblock, they could have easily have put something through, and they would have had the majority to get it through, and he could have signed off on it and made it law. Isn't the issue that they're thinking that the Supreme Court's going to say that this is that it was an overreach of the executive branch, and that it should be handled legislatively? I think it was something that was supposed to get people excited, to get some of the Bernie, the folk that like Bernie Sanders, to get them excited about something with this possibility. I don't think it was ever meant to go far. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it was meant to go far. And there's some more common sense things that can be done with it. Okay, so don't get rid of I was looking at mine, and I was just looking at the amount of interest alone that is. If you just get rid of the interest, like, do the interest. Like, I'm fine with that. Do the interest, because then that takes my payment down and it makes it manageable. It's the interest. And I get what everybody's saying. You shouldn't have signed up for it, blah, blah, blah. Don't do that, because that's going to get into a whole another conversation about equity and access and all that other stuff. So we need to stop that, because there was this system that was put in place saying that we had to get an education in order to get the jobs that we wanted to get. And so there's that. But I don't think it was meant to be successful, to be honest with you. And that's just my opinion, maybe unpopular, but I don't think it was meant to be successful.
I think you're on something, Dr. Mike.
Yeah. So y'all go ahead and start really start saving up your stuff. Because you're gonna have to just start chipping away at it. Figure out what needs to happen. But anyway, I'll be praying for us. Mitchell, as you're going into your college search and stuff, look for how to get it free.
Please.
Look for how to get it free, man. Look for how to get it free. Look, if that means you guys stay local and then get you a little side job and then save up some money to go visit other places if you want to get away from home. But I'm just telling y'all, it's something for it. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a quick break.
Our world is filled with polarizing topics that land most people on one side or the other. The Headspace with Dr. Mike team isn't afraid to take them on. Monthly, we will invite people on both sides of some of the most controversial topics, from the serious to the silly, to debate their positions. We look forward to charged discussions that will inform and entertain. DM your head-to-head show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook at Headspace DM.
All right, let's go to something a little lighter. Well, not lighter depending on who you ask. So we have some babies on the way.
We do. So Keke Palmer revealed that she's pregnant
Akilah.
right before. Yeah, Akilah. Right before the holiday. She was with a Saturday Night Live, I believe.
Yeah.
And she revealed it. I was very happy, for her to hear about that. And one that sorry about the toddler in the background. I hope y'all can hear me. He got a lot to say. And then another one that kind of shocked me, actress Hilary Swank, and she's pregnant with twins.
Wow. And she's not necessarily young, a young buck.
She's 48, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Was that? Did she get some help to do it, or?
Now that I don't know. I didn't look into all that. I just know that she announced she was pregnant with twins. I think that was right before the holiday as well.
Okay.
So yeah. So happy for them.
Yeah. Well, you were enlightening me on a little bit of something, because I was talking about the fact that Nick Cannon, he has his dozen, so he has a carton of eggs. Literally. And then who else did you say? I can't remember. Who else was it that you said that just had a baby?
P. Diddy. P. Diddy
That's
just
hilarious.
had a little girl, baby girl.
So he's gotten over, what's her name?
Who? Which one?
The one that died.
Oh, honey, please. Let's not go there. Yeah, he's been doing a lot. He's been dating everybody and everyone, and this baby just came up seemingly out of nowhere, and he's
out of
just had his
complete
baby,
nowhere.
but he's dating somebody else. And
Mitchell said it didn't come up out of nowhere. It came from somewhere.
You're right.
So here's my thing, though. So as far as Diddy went, that one was just completely random. I remember seeing that one and being like, okay, not really okay. So another one that didn't surprise me was Nick Cannon's, because at this point with Nick Cannon, I had just kind of expected one every month. They just came sooner than my expectation. So it is what it is. But one thing I can appreciate about Keke Palmer's is, first of all, it was done in really good fashion. Her opening monologue at SNL, that was great. But she kept it hidden, along with her keeping the father hidden, because don't nobody know who he is. You look up his name, and you're just like,
who? And
Papa, who this?
And you know who else is pregnant? Rudy.
Oh.
Rudy.
Oh, Keisha Knight Pulliam?
Keisha Knight Pulliam is pregnant. Yes.
Well, and but you know what? I am so happy for her, and I'm glad you said that, because I think I watched a couple of Christmas Hallmark movies or something, and then I didn't realize there was a Netflix show or a show that she was in. Like, she's really having her winning season. Like, she is really, because I
She
remember for a while,
is.
like, she was in college, people, there wasn't nice things to say about her, but she is really coming back into her own. I'm very happy for her. Good for her.
Yeah, I'm happy for her as well because I recall that first marriage and her having, the little girl, and that did not end
Mhm.
well.
Yeah,
That did not
yeah,
end well. So
yeah,
she seems really happy and whole. And I think she lives on a farm or something. Like her husband's
yeah,
like a farmer or something. And
yeah.
I'm happy for her.
I am
I'm very
too. I am too. I feel like
and
she was one that we watched just grow up through the years because she's Rudy
I mean she's
Huxtable.
her age. She's like what, 2 years younger than us, maybe a year or
I think
two.
so. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's great. Well, congratulations, Rudy. I'm glad to hear that about her. Very good. All right. So, all right, we talking about couples. This Prince Harry, Meghan Markle,
Markle.
Markle, my bad, Merkel. I don't know where I get Merkel from. Markle. So can I just say, first of all, I will admit, I am fascinated by the whole royalty thing. We've
Yes,
talked about
Mike.
this
We know.
previous
We
shows.
know.
I'm fascinated by it. And I actually, the more and more I get to know Harry, like I like him because I do like him. I mean, especially what the path that he's willing to go through to take care of a Nubian princess. I'm impressed. Like, I really am. Like,
I really am.
I get the impression that he really does love this woman, and I do. So I'm team Harry and Meghan. Um, Woo! He released a book, and before, I know y'all got opinions about it, I'm going to go on record as to saying I hear what people are trying to say about how they were asking for privacy or privacy, as the Brits will call it.
Privacy.
But here's the thing. I never got the impression that they were asking for that. I got the impression that they were just asking for the right story to be told. And from what we understand about the Royals and the firm, because I didn't even know that was a thing until she interviewed with Oprah, there is a whole system, and it's designed to make them look good. Like, they're supposed to look good all the time. And so they weren't protecting him and his family, more so
Exactly.
his family. And I do believe there was, look, y'all, that family got a lot of their wealth off of the backs of slaves. Let's keep that real. Like, let's talk about that. Like, their riches, they were really a part of that slave trade. It was a big deal. And so, and to be honest with you, look, we descended, the country of America, descendants of from over there. So racism didn't just sprout up once they hit, American soil.
Mm-hmm.
It had to come from somewhere. And I believe some of the stuff was said. And I believe she probably was being challenging at times because she probably was frustrated. Because there's rules. You can't sneeze a certain way. You probably can't poop a certain way. You probably have to walk a certain line. Anything that she did probably was never right because she didn't grow up in that environment. So she never got things right, which is what they probably did to Diana, at least according to The Crown.
You watched that show too?
Oh yeah, I haven't watched this last season because from what I'm hearing, it's not getting good reviews. But yeah, I love The Crown. I thought The Crown was great.
I like it too. And personally, let me say, I want this book.
I want the one in English though, not the one that was released by accident in Spanish.
Yeah, I want that one. I want the English one too.
But did you guys watch the Netflix special in its entirety?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm still at a few episodes behind. I didn't get to watch all of it just yet.
Okay, you need to watch it in its entirety, and you will your opinion of Harry will grow. He was like, listen, it's about my family, and that's it, and it is what it is. I mean, he even said something in the book apparently that William attacked him.
Yeah, they got in a fight about it.
And Like, why? It's
Well, the
toxic.
whole story is funny though, because it was funny because you dealing with the sister, and apparently somehow or another there was an altercation between Megan and Kate, and Kate put her finger in her face.
That's a no-no.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you want me to abide by your rules, well, you need to abide by mine. You don't put fingers in faces. Like, that's just not how we work. Like that.
She should be glad she still got a finger.
Right. Queen consort or not, I don't care.
I don't give a diggity.
And I get it. Their family, their family is, it's a family issue. Shavella said that we don't do that. No,
We don't do that. We don't.
No, let's keep
Listen,
it real. We don't do that.
I feel really bad for Megan because she has experienced loss on both sides. Her father and his inability to father and aunt, excuse me. See, this is why you got to watch the whole series if you haven't seen it.
I understand. I've heard stories about that.
I mean the betrayal.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope she's in therapy. She talked about therapy, and I hope that she maintains that because thank God they got those kids out of there because not healthy at all.
Yeah. I hope someone's pastoring them too. Like I hope someone's pastoring them because there definitely is some spiritual warfare going on in that too. And I'm not trying to over spiritualize things, but I mean there is a lot that's there. And yeah, I pray for them. It's a whole mess. I mean, it is fascinating too because every family has its mess. So I mean, there's that. But it sounds to me like the family just needs an overhaul. Like it needs Dr. Phil to come in and do a what's those things called? A intervention.
I'm pulling more for Ayanna Van Zant. I don't think we need Dr. Phil. I don't think we need Dr. Phil.
Can you hear her calling Charles beloved?
Beloved.
I can't. I really can't.
Hey, it works for the Braxtons, right? All right. So, Christy, were you able to find that list, the all-time?
Okay, you want to do that now?
Oh, I remember hearing about it on the Today Show. Now, I think I remember hearing about it on. You know what? Let's take a quick break and let's come on back to that because I want to deal with that. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Focused on photo, versed in video. For Any Media brings visions to life from headshots to family shoots, casual candids to structured scenes. Our team can provide whatever you need. In Baltimore, you may have seen us at local events such as the Poly City Tailgate or the Randallstown Romp. You can find us on all social media platforms at the number 4 Any Media. For Any Media, for anything. Contact us so we can create.
Well, I'm not sure what that was about. Oh well. Anyway, let's see. The greatest Rolling Stones, I think, produced the greatest singers of all time. From what I understand, there was some flubs. Like there was some like people who weren't included in the list.
Yeah, child. I'm tell you.
Yeah.
What's her name? Oh Lord, I know. Oh my goodness. The song, the singer from Titanic.
Yeah,
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion didn't make the list.
She's not on the list.
No, at all.
Which I am. That shocked me.
Yeah.
So the number one. Do we want to go to the number one?
Yeah, give us this list because I want to hear what they didn't come up with.
Okay, obviously it's 200, so I gotta give you the highlights. So Aretha Franklin is number one. Aretha Franklin is number one.
Okay.
Followed by Whitney Houston.
Okay.
I should have probably started at 10. 3 is Sam Cooke.
Okay.
4 is Billie Holiday, who happens to grace my wall.
Now I love Billie Holiday, so I'm kind of biased to it. So I would say okay.
That's her right there. That's Billie.
That is her.
That's her on the wall. Number 5 is Mariah Carey.
She made top 10.
That's a little high. That's a little high for me.
That's a little high. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
Yeah. Number 6 is Ray Charles.
Okay.
Number
That one
7,
actually.
Stevie Wonder, I think, is a little lower than he should be. He's
Stevie
number
Wonder is
7.
much lower than he should be.
Number 8, as I do a deep sigh, Beyonce.
No. Mm-mm.
My
I
eyes are
love her.
rolling.
So
First of
wait,
all,
pause, because I was on TikTok the other day, and they were showing a clip of Kiara Sheard attempting, what's the song that Beyonce does where she changes keys? Oh, Love on Top. And she
Yeah.
does the whole Love on Top thing. And the
Yeah.
fact that Kiki Sheard had to stop like midway through because she couldn't get the range. I thought that was fascinating.
So wait a minute. So have we actually seen Beyonce perform that live and go that high?
I feel like I have.
Okay. Well, send me that clip.
Okay.
Because I'm
Okay.
happy. I'm happy to. I don't want to say she can't do it because I haven't
Okay.
seen her do it. But we know with editing and all the beauty of records and all that.
I get all that. Yep, I get all that. I get that.
But Beyonce.
Number 8 is a little low. That's a little.
Low
8 is
what?
a little high. I mean, high. 8 is high. 8
high.
is pretty.
You
It
want
is pretty
if
high.
you want the truth from me?
I don't know if I would give her the top 20. I don't know if I could put her in the top.
Top
Mm-mm.
50.
Sorry, Behab,
Top
I'm
50.
sorry. I'll give her top 200. I'll give her top 200.
Oh yeah, I'll give her in the top 50. But if you start really adding, if you
not
start adding
not top 10.
Me and my cousins had this whole debate via text in a text message thread about who should be on the top, right? And I'm like, okay, Beyonce should be in the top. I'll give her the top 30, right? But if you start
Shavella did say yes for an award show. She did do it.
Send it to me.
We'll find it. She said send it to
I need receipts. But I'm like, I'll give her the top 25, top 30. But if you start adding in gospel singers, she's in the top 50 for sure.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
First of all, what to me, this is like a popularity list because in my opinion, Ledisi is a top 10 singer. She is an instrument. Her voice is an instrument. Then if you're going to say her, you got to say Layla Hathaway.
Would you add Jennifer Hudson to that conversation?
I would give Hudson, but she's not top 10. Hudson.
Okay.
I'd give her top 25.
Okay.
And Fantasia, I forgot what number she is. And Mary J. Blige is like one of my favorite, and she's like 25, and that's too high.
Yeah, that's too high for Mary J. Definitely. Mariah Carey got higher than Mary J.
Oh yeah. Now I think that Mariah Carey probably deserved to be higher than Mary J. We're talking about singers. See, we can't.
So that's what this is. Who made? I guess I just have so many questions. Probably not even enough for this, because Otis Redding and Al Green round out the top 10. Uh-huh. Who determined this? Was there a council?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious to learn myself. But there were a lot of.
But you bring up a good point though. So Shavella said that's when she revealed her pregnancy. Shavella gonna find you the receipts. I love it because I do remember.
Thank you, Mrs. Dorsey.
Yeah, she was pregnant. She showed a bump. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, who were the ones? Do we know who were the ones that were snubbed? Like people who didn't even make the list.
Oh, I think it was Celine Dion. Celine Dion. I have to look up the others, but there were more people who were upset about the ranking more so than people who were missing from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is what happens when you start ranking people. Let's just say they're good, they're great, they're excellent, and keep it moving. But the ranking, it's gonna get you in trouble every time.
So apparently the snubs were Madonna.
I'm not. What's the problem with that?
Nat King Cole.
Now that's a problem.
Cher.
I'm not upset about that.
Janet Jackson.
She wasn't on there at all?
Nope.
Now Janet's not. She's not a singer. She's an entertainer. So
And I think that was what the argument was. It's like, are we talking about entertainment? Because Jennifer Hudson isn't on it, nor is Bruno Mars.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Yeah, interesting. But I agree with you. So I'm wondering if did Let Us See even make it?
I don't know. I don't even want to look because if I don't see her on there, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah, Let Us See. I tell you what, Let Us See. She could sing to me all day.
Let us sing
to me all day. Wow. Well, you know what? Maybe one day you'll make that list, Christy.
Oh, you're kind. You're very kind. I wouldn't even make the top 10,000.
Let's take a quick look and get out of here.
Follow the Headspace with Dr. Mike show on all social media platforms at Headspace DM. We want to keep you up to date on all of our hot topics and keep the dialogue going even after the show. We also value what's important to you and your community. DM your show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook. The next time you log on, you may hear Dr. Mike discussing the very topic or issue close to your heart.
Well, definitely we're rounding out the time. Y'all, first of all, I just am so glad that we're all back. Next week, I just want to remind everybody, next week, the whole weekend is Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. His birthday is on January 15th, so make sure you're doing something to honor the legacy of Dr. King in some sort of way. Mitchell will be doing something on Sunday. He'll be doing something on Sunday. He'll be standing in proxy and be doing a wonderful job. But nonetheless, I just thank you all for just joining us, and make sure you're praying for each other, praying for our nation, praying for our world. It just seems like just so many things are just happening. And make sure you DM me any prayer requests that you all have. Thank you, Kevin. Awesome show, Dr. D. I'm really looking forward to this year. So are we. We're excited about this year. And some exciting things are going to be happening. I have some guests lined up for the coming weeks. And so I think you're going to be pleased with that. And anyway, all that being said, know that we love you. We wish you all the best that God has for you. And looking forward to the time when we get to meet again. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to Headspace with Dr. Mike. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to follow us on social media at Headspace DM to continue the dialogue with other Headspacers regarding today's show. Everyone is filling their headspace with something. The question is, what are you filling yours with? Tune in next week.